Present. Senator Duran. Senator Hernandez.
Present.
Senator Jones.
Present.
Senator Husto.
45 on Monday.
What time?
45.
Howdy, everyone. There we go. That's that energetic response. Cool. So I'd first like to thank you for going out of your way last week to assist our EVP, Jefferson Cookson, with resolution number 1, the letter regarding the selection of UC President Janet Napolitano. At the UCSA board meeting this past weekend, Jefferson, thanks in part to our united stance, was able to stop a vote that would have jeopardized our relationship with Napolitano, which failed 9-6. I'd especially like to recognize Jefferson, who has carried on despite threats, long trips, and harassment from other campuses, in the best interest, or carried on in the best interest of UC Merced students. Complimenting you. And again, thank you, senators, for your support. I strongly believe this was a very positive step for UCSA and UC Merced's role in UCSA. Multiple bills were presented in ICC and 2 bills passed. Of those, I vetoed 1 for the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers because it originally violated the big ticket item rule without a pressing time issue. I approved the other for the Latino Associated Students Hispanic Heritage Month event. Ivan, Steve, and I myself are working on improving and expediting the approval process through CAT Life for vetoes and approvals. Something to keep in mind is that in order to have the 4 fall senators attend the retreat and have the election end by that time, we will need to have an elections commissioner tonight to not be in violation of our bylaws. There are a few personal announcements from within my office. I've selected Brandon Barranco as my new chief of staff to replace Luis Gonzalez. Luis will continue to be a member of my staff if he so chooses. I've updated the 2014 ASUCM budget on my presidential Facebook as of August 31st. All the numbers should be up to date. So feel free to share it to your walls. Additionally, I plan to make a trip to UC Davis at the beginning of October to meet with their associate students and establish a stronger relationship with their campus. Lastly, I'd like to recognize and thank our new Director of Communications, Jess Lopez. I think had to step out. I think she's doing a great job. She's really approaching her office with a multifaceted action plan that really has the potential to make change, as we see here. And also, thank you to Cipriano of Reach Authentic Media for videotaping this as well. We're entering my 2nd week of appointments for commissioners, liaisons, and university committees, with the end of this meeting officially marking the midpoint of my projected selection process. During this time, I have been continually working to make progress on filling these positions. Recently, I emailed 29 standing university committees to gather information, establish a relationship, and ensure students are represented in the governance of the university, an important precedent to set for future administrations and ASUCMs. I've completed nearly all of my commissioner and liaison appointments with the help of our IVP, Ivan Flores, and I'm still looking for 2 new court justices. I look forward to presenting all these candidates very soon. Of the appointments made last week, I was equally, if not more, surprised by the sudden resignation of Dalton Rogers, the Commissioner of Municipal Relations. Though it came without warning, his letter explained his reasoning, and I wish him the best in his pursuits. I began to search for another Commissioner of Municipal Relations to replace him in time for election events. While such unexpected events are unavoidable in any organization, I take my responsibility very seriously in selecting candidates that will fully commit to the position and are qualified and dedicated to working for students. I'd like to take a moment to explain a little bit more about the process I used to select these students and what I'm doing to ensure our appointment structure will be strong. Can I get a time check? 5 minutes, great. In my vision of ASUCM, I identified communication, collaboration, and campus action as the 3 critical pieces to helping grow and evolve our organization. Pieces which I've identified in my 2 terms as a senator, where I saw too many lost opportunities for student involvement and an appointment process that was often shaky and regularly took months. While everyone makes mistakes, I believe that it is simply unacceptable to allow such a systemic problem to continue, and under my administration, I've committed to setting a new standard. This began at the very beginning of summer, as many students were packing to return home. I created the first ASUCM-wide digital application and distributed it online through Facebook, 8 orientations, and 3 Ascend conferences. With the help of many ASUCM officials that stayed over summer, we recruited nearly 150 students to join our organization, far outpacing any past recruitment efforts. And concurrently, during the past 2 to 3 months, I've been working to establish an appointment structure that will be more organized, inclusive, and effective. Many ideas were written down, but most were struck out, removed, amended, combined, taken apart, until the structure I have today was left. With Ivan's help, we reviewed 150 applications, talked to over 40 applicants about their interest in ASUCM, placed them in positions, and I will continue to provide leadership over the coming year in meeting with them every 2 weeks on the Commissioners Council. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want to express my commitment to the success of this organization and our shared commitment to better serve students. Each candidate sent for confirmation has been handpicked from nearly 150 others, and each commission is the product of many discussions about the future. I ask that you strongly consider my recommendations for appointments, and it's my hope to earn your trust. Should any of you have questions about my plans or reasoning, I'm always happy to give you an honest explanation, or if you'd like my feedback, you can always yield the floor whether my hand is up or not. I will answer. Tonight you will be reviewing 3 more appointments for the Commissioners of Diversity, Leadership Outreach, and the Student Ambassador Program. I've prepared a summary of each position for you, and we'll explain more as we get to them. These documents should all be in your email accounts, hopefully. I'm additionally asking Senate for additional funding in my line items, recognizing that ASUCM has often suffered from a very apparent gender divide, which is translated to fewer female senators, and even more so for executive offices. I've been working with the coordinator of women's programs, Molly Bechtel, to hold a workshop and presentation for aspiring female candidates at the cost of $800 to ASUCM. This includes flying out former college president and United States Student Association former legislative director, Rebecca Thompson, to speak with students, do a workshop, and come to Senate to speak with you. This should be on the 25th of September. Additionally, I allocated $200 for an American Chemistry Society event. While I do not plan to fund events in the future for clubs, with my personal budget, this was an example of an organization which could not easily get funding elsewhere and was relying upon the ASUCM website forums, which have been down. That together has cost $1,000, and I'm requesting $1,500 to increase my general fund to $1,000 in order to fund a number of expenses I have coming up and to give me the flexibility to address issues as they appear. Rather than asking for a large amount of funding, as many of the other execs have larger accounts, I hope to come back more regularly for smaller amounts and update you exactly on how it has been spent. I'd like to request my approval for this funding, or I'd like to request your approval for this funding to help me better do my job. Again, thank you for your time and consideration. Soon I will be publishing my campaign promises, which I have reviewed. I believe at the end of tonight that should be online for your review, and some documents are circulating the table. Thank you.